Hello guys, welcome to the Ghostbusters. Recap the trio Dr. Peter Vackman, Dr. Estand, and Dr. Egon Spengler, or have PhDs in power psychology, the run a group with the help members of society, Clear Goes, and Unwanted Spirit, helping all I burned ghost haunting the library. Vackman conduct studies and use these opportunities to try and meet women, but the into-opted Wonder University dropped. Their group does slow to complete trials and get results sloppy, and their methods and inaccurate to eagles. Just that, the private sector will be difficult, as people don't believe in power nor occurrences vow any money to that name. Right makes a question or financial decision and remortgages his house for a 19% lower than users' money to run or run down a banned fire station and hire new receptionist Janine Bonus, who has a liking for he got. There are new ad campaigns for the business name, yet Ghostbusters as then about a position get back and runs into Lois Tully for neighborhood really into her, but she is of and blow some off later that day. Paranormal occurrences start to occur. Her ex thought to crack and Kirkland the counter, and her friend walked into a different dimension, and a demon talks of zoo as you would she. This new Ghostbusters business Peter, the nice guy, he's the size to check it out for free if I know activity, and tries to spit some game, but is to shut down to get the first official clients, using the radioactive listen to capture the slime and get paid. They start capturing more and more paranormal spurt, didn't featured on the newspapers and regulars on the radio. They become more prominent figures, the space, even hiring a new employer once, and double the teach him about the traps and the containment in use to hold all of the evil spirit is it would turn off. The entire city would erupt into chaos. They get a visit from the APA Project for Environmental Causes of Douglas Boston Business, where Peter unwanted to just nope around in that business turns them away. Pac wants him that when he gets a Coral, who written place of Pop to carry on, as Peter runs into Dental taking her away from the violinist, is when does Zoo and Doubleday worship his closer violent her out on a date to go over more details on how to handle job properly. But that very night, she's possessed and the gatekeeper take control for body. She is now looking for the key milestone in another part of town. Last is also possessed. His name is now Key Moscow. Peter arrived to find the day is possessed and tries to keep her in the apartment as the police drop of Last for the scared, the his acting strange, the realized a coincidence, and decide against joining the Key with the gate. OPEC guests to the doors with the Coral mandated them to shove their power into shutting off to generate a hole in the spirit. Forced to do this, didn't I bow to explode. Experts fly across town back to where that were to those bosses arrested for this disaster and for public safety. In the meantime, Last escaped and meet up with Data extending the Key with a gate, and for me into those they're caught in by the mail, given their proposal that they can help turn this disaster back, and when him devotes he needs for this campaign to released with a police escort as they entered the hotel building to save the day, running up the flights of stairs to meet rules, and goes on the rule. They make quick work of A with the quadruple laser the power, but voice calls from above to let them know that some during the think of were destroyed the and Ray accidentally thinks on the Marshmallow Man then after duties and destroyed their childhood favorite candy, saving the city and its people. The stones of the rules crap to reveal Dana and Last still alive. Peter carries her out as he gets a kiss for rescuing her as they drove off in the Ghostbuster car. 5 years passed just as quick. Newly divorced to the violinist and carrying the trout, he is lifted away by malicious, and fourth, she manages to retrieve him just before he has hit Winston and Ray on the own. What's left of the Ghostbusters shown up at kids' birthday parties as or devious birds have been whisked away. Egan is working out a new testing facility with couples when he has contacted by Day know about the aberration and makes some promise not to torpedo, as the breakup was messy. With the hope of Ray, they start investigating or vestments this them out and tortured the information out of him as he helps out at the check out her apartment for son of abnormal ghosts. Activity defined not of such just some memories to reminisce should check the scene of the incident, finding a high concentration of abnormal activity on the ground. The construction workers and dig a massive pole hope for Raid Vest get under the city. He finds a slime-like material and collects of as such. The city shut down due to the electoral tapper and underground, and arrested for does the skip to the court date as a present order equipment, and Islam as evidence. Even worse, they have laws and accountant as their loyal. They are obviously lose, and as sentencing commences, Judge Westlos not scream at them, consequently making the slump and water and explode as Gross appeared to haunt them. He's on wisdom and force them to clean up the ghost problem. They make quick work with the criminals and are set for a jock hot a mile as the mayor's system, angered by this verdict, tries to stop the tomfoolery. They start to get to rushing over this case and begin ghost busting again, even hiring Moan. It has the receptionist a smart move the slide, finding out that it reacts with characteristics, like if they scream at an acre bosses, or angle was if they played pop music. Adapters control a toaster. Veenman visit Dana's new what price a museum, whether restore our meeting her manager Dr. John Nash Pearl, and she wants him about an eerie feeling on the painting of victim and that fateful night. Their harassed bus ride. When did the tries to shower the baby, she rushes over to Pedo requesting aid, and here bites, and a host, as long as a wants sending the team over to check out her place. Davis good the museum once more and take photos of Viva Page scuttling a NATO. That food has the canal's slime from under the city. As I discovered this, the place burst into flames, burned photos, but in the nick of time, once the breaks and extinguishes all of them, to report this D. Brito, and he advised her not to go back to the museum, as they set up a date, was the others go to out the slime in the canals being put in, or sprucing a rush of Angle Eagle, who he realizes that the slime exemplifies the motion in that moment, and they rush over to the restaurant for told freshman about the discovery. Adele arrested for trespassing and harassment to try to speak with the male, but he too pushes them white, just hard a mile stretch then, and president or mental ward, now not protected by the male. Awful lot has been hitting her off. With Moan, it a little too much paranormal activity. Starters skyrocket through the city. Even Dana's baby is kidnapped for ritual joint. It want to go to possess the body a come back to life as a god, and he promises to make the witch's wish was to make Dana his wife. To stop this, the mayor cause for the Ghostbusters of finding out about just scheme he has. Slighted don't rush to the sea, even with their guns have no effect on line current. The building, the last resort is anew. The slime blow to control a Statue of Liberty, with like making a crush into the building blocks. What vigor and John have emerged victorious when a bandana and the city celebrating and a festival. We jump to Ghostbusters Afterlife because Ghostbusters 2016 reboot. The entire front doctor decades into the future, single mother Collie and her kids Phoebe, and travel of victim luckily, or not their grandfather had just died and left them, or Professor Nut with an old rusty house and some shut the first run to purchase food trouble spots ago. He likes Lucky, so he tries to apply to work at the same fast spot to check out the house and get a taste of the new jitters from. They of course, but they're forced to stay because of the financial situation. The next day, Kelly dropped off the me for summer school, inadvertently meeting Mr. Gary Group of the summer school teacher, and in cross-female launch that he is a seismologist, that the text-to-digital art from of course, because of the different P, and, as with stuff all they get the first paranormal occurrent when travel is wider up to the mountains, and they spot Miss muttering the word goes. Oh, Phoebe makes a friend podcast who runs a podcast, and he shows at the age of scripture carved into the mountain, which she discovers a truck, and with Gary the open releasing a ghost. Phoebe also praised magical. Just with a ghost, she then stumbled into one of the shots and fixed her grandfather machine or proton pack, testing it out on Can't with podcast at the girl goes hunting, running into travel, who had 50 Ghostbusters call it, gives them a ride along as expected. She destroy half the town with the proton pack an hour or rusted. Meanwhile, Very had asked early hour on a date, and though really interrupted, when the courts post bail and the police confiscated equipment, today lecture them at home, where they find out that their grandfather was Egon Spangler. Don't lose just awkward night to grab groceries, but sports a mini Marshmallows man Andrew, who possesses of the night comfort or crowd when Carlitos the fireman poured down to the war photos of everything he had missed. Kelly's life as he had was stopped, and this small run in town trying to defend them from an invasion substantiated by one fee because right. Explain the vitamin is now a teacher. Winston is in the finance sector, and he still owns the bookshop. Equal cut rambling about the invasion in the random town, and they never believed him. They tricked into the melted, trying to capture the ghost will run until contraption does not the vision, but the Tedmond paranormal activity in the reckoning of 9. Kelly is possessed, and in Gary's body, the key muscle destroy the contraption as the key, and gave me form is salt. They break into the county and get the proton pack. Backtracking down goes up. They're able to free Collie using the traps as they free to the farm, where he God has set up a truck for Go Ozil, who shows up on time, but one proton pack isn't enough, and Dell disposed of as the other ghost of the possesses. Lucky we're just in time. Ray, Peter, and Winston show up to save the day, and Eagle's ghost cause better hope Phoebe as they use the trump to correct, or the ghosts include goes on friend Gary. Unlucky, and life moved on, and this is where the story ends. Please subscribe this